Hello, in this clip we're going to look specifically about how to go about entering scores for the ELD assessments, although this would work for the most part for any of the rubric-based tests. And these would be tests that are being administered somewhere else, and then scores are necessarily or needed to be able to put here into MasteryConnect. So we're going to come from our district created Canvas course, and we're going to find where we see Mastery Tracker in our course navigation. So here we go, I'm going to open that. And once we're here, we're under the assumption that you have already gone through the process of adding the appropriate grade level curriculum map. Essentially, that's your tracker. That contains all of your standards, both for language arts, mathematics, as well as ELD. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll across and find my ELD assessment. There I go. I've located my ELD assessment, and some grade levels you may have multiple depending upon whether they're merging, bridging, expanding, but in this case I have my one. I'm going to click grade. Which I'm doing is launching the performance grader. This is my ability to enter the results for each individual student. So you can see on the left hand side all of my students. When I click grade, I'm launching this performance grader, and I will see the same exact thing. I have my students on my left hand side, and then in the middle, depending upon your grade level, in this example, this happens to be the TK one. In other grade levels, we'll go ahead and show that as well. You're going to find, okay, what is it that I'm entering? And based upon that, you will look on the right hand side and it will tell you the criteria. So it doesn't tell us specifically, it will always say regardless of the grade level, criteria 1, criteria 2, criteria 3. And you would see which one of these corresponds on the left hand side with what I'm needing to enter. So in this particular case, you can see that there are 3 possibilities, which is why you see 3 here. And all you need to do is simply click on the score. And you would do this for each of the things as well as for each of the students. Now you can click individually on student names here, but you also have the ability to scroll across student to student by clicking next there. Now when you're finished, go ahead and click score assessment. Let's take a quick example at another grade level. Now we're looking in this portion at a different grade level. Now I could scroll across as we had done in the previous sample course, but I also want to make sure you understand how you can quickly just filter. So I came over here to where you see the little booklet, it's a tracker, and I'm going to unclick all of these other boxes so that I'm only looking at any of my benchmark assessments. You don't need to do that, you can totally scroll across, but it may be more efficient use of our time. So again, I have these various ELD assessments that I'm responsible for entering scores for, and again we have the expanding, the emerging, and the bridging. I'm going to find, and it doesn't matter which one you are looking at, this little button that says grade, and that launches the performance grader. In the performance grader, this is where you're going to see in the middle what happens to be your key or what you are using. So if you're looking at this one right here, you can see it says listening comprehension and there's a score 6. The very first criteria 1 is out of 6. So depending upon what the student earns, you're going to click the box. Let's say this student in this sample earned a score of 5 for listening comprehension. I'm going to see criteria 2. That correlates or corresponds to the very next one, in this case, reading comprehension. Now it's out of 8. Which is why I can see 8 here. Let's say the student earned a 6 on this one. And I would go down the list matching or correlating each of the criterias to what they correspond to over here on this left in the middle here. And when I'm finished, I'm going to click score assessment. And that would be how you would enter the scores for your results for all of the ELD assessments. Whether you are entering on TK, 3rd grade, or any of the other grade levels that are responsible for entering the ELD assessment scores into MasteryConnect. If you have questions, please let us know. Thanks so much.